Welcome back to Storytime with Karen and Kevin. I'm your host, Karen Monroe. Today, I'll be reading some stories from various Reddits, so let's get started. This story was posted by Comprehensive Leg 175. Today I effed up by posting a naked body progress pic, and all my HR coworkers have seen it. I have been working out for about 3 months straight, and have been documenting the progress with naked pictures of myself. I posted a couple of pictures of my naked body progress pictures to a Reddit weight loss group, and I felt great. People were complimenting me, asking me what I was eating, my workout regimen, etc. Today, I got a text from a coworker. It was a screenshot from a group chat that I wasn't a part of. It was a screenshot of my Reddit post with me in the progress pictures. One of the coworkers in the chat was asking, "Whoa, isn't that the same tattoo that OP has?" I am beyond mortified. I have to go back to work tomorrow and face all of them. I work in HR, so I know I'm not going to lose my job or anything like that, but I'm still debating if I'm going to play dumb, just address it, or ignore it. I know I'm going to feel even more naked walking around the office tomorrow than I did taking the pictures. Here's to hoping the week can only get better from here. So someone down in the comments actually mentioned that since your coworkers are technically sending the naked pictures of you, that's like an issue for HR. Not like your job, but like, that seems really weird. Like, he could have come and talked to you about it, or, texted you and just let them know, like, hey, I see this, and it's possible that other people might see this, and you might want to, take them down or change your Reddit handle, whatever it may be. I mean, I'm assuming that, the pictures she's posting, don't make it clear that it's her, like she's not showing her face and doesn't have her real name and whatnot. So if that's the case, then yeah, that's kind of like you're almost anonymous, except for someone knows your Reddit handle that maybe you didn't give it out to and they found it, and they should just be a bigger person and maybe let you know personally instead of like sending it to your coworkers. That's just weird. This story was posted by Karasude Teeps 80. Try to strong-arm evict me illegally? We'll see about that. This happened back in 2010 when I lived in Winter Garden, Florida, with my husband and his dying uncle. Background: my husband and I moved in with his sick uncle after losing so much during the 2008 housing market crash in the US, like many of my husband's lawn maintenance customers. We also moved in with his uncle into a condo because his uncle had stage 4 cirrhosis of the liver, and his self-entitled sister and her family refused to help take care of him. My husband, a retired Seminole County Sheriff's officer, important later, and I got ourselves set in the condo's 2 bedrooms as his uncle had himself set up in the living room, including his bed. On the first day, we found dangerous black mold caused by a leaky dishwasher. On the second day, we found the master shower had loose tiles and a leaky shower head. On the third day, we found a nest of brown recluse spiders in the living room. We talked with his uncle about these problems and found out that the slumlord, friends with self-entitled sister Aunt and her family, was refusing to take care of the issues as required by law. We wanted to start legal actions then, but my husband's uncle talked us out of it several times. The slumlord was nice to us as long as my husband's sick uncle was alive. The very next day after his uncle died was a completely different story. Slumlord had turned nasty, aggressive, and began to try and strong-arm evict us like we were nothing more than drug addicts or squatters. Slumlord even bowed up and aggressively tried to fight my husband when we dropped off our rent check. He kept telling us that we had to move or else, but yet refused to follow the actual Florida laws to evict us. Slumlord and his corrupt Winter Garden PD code enforcement officer wife even recruited my husband's self-entitled aunt and uncle to start harassing about just moving even if we had to live in a tent. Self-entitled aunt: why don't you and RSO nephew just move so they can rent the condo to another senior? Husband: we don't have anywhere else to go yet, and he must go through eviction laws or get into very serious trouble. Self-entitled aunt: you're nothing but trouble. Retired SCSD officer nephew. You've been a problem since the day you were born. Get out of their condo and stop being a problem for everyone. Who cares if you have to live in a tent? All of this made my retired officer husband, who specialized in uncovering corrupted law enforcement, very suspicious. We talked and began investigating slumlord and corrupt code enforcement wife. My first order was to place all rent into escrow with evidence of repairs that had been neglected. Second, I sent a notification of cease and desist of harassment to the slumlord and self-entitled aunt. Next, I researched public property tax records. Woohoo! Paid dirt there. Slumlord's condo wasn't registered as a rental property with the state of Florida and was paying far less in property taxes than Slumlord should have been paying. Property tax records also showed that Slumlord did not own the condo. It was still deeded to his mother, which I found out had been living in a retirement home for 5 years before my husband's uncle moved in. My husband found out that the corrupt code enforcement wife had been inspecting and signing off on hers and Slumlord's properties, including the condo, which is against Florida code enforcement conduct laws. I found out from neighbors in the condo that Slumlord had only been renting to seniors with severe health issues. My best discovery, though, next to tax evasion, was finding out that the Condo Owners Association had a very strict no renting/no leasing policy, meaning your family had to live in the condo and it could not be rented. The revenge. Now that we had all of our evidence, my husband and I began to knock down all of the slumlord's dominoes. My husband went and filed a complaint with the Winter Garden Police Department about corrupt code enforcement wife and her perjuring inspections on her family properties. My husband has a glowing record in the Seminole County and the FDLE for having over 200 clean arrests and taking down nearly 60 corrupt public officials, including Child Protective Services in the early 2000s. This background helped push WGPD to open an investigation into corrupt code enforcement wife. They discovered that not only has she perjured inspections on her family's properties, but also on my husband's self-entitled aunt and uncle's property as well. This got corrupt code enforcement wife fired, stripped of her state enforcement officer's license, and convicted of multiple crimes. I sent all property tax fraud evidence to the Florida Properties Tax Division. That got the state to investigate Slumlord. The state found that not only did he commit property tax fraud on the condo, but also on a property that he was renting to his son and self-entitled aunt's son, along with business tax fraud and some income tax fraud. Both Slumlord's son and self-entitled aunt's son were also busted for possession of illegal narcotics with intent to sell when investigators came to the rental house that they lived in. I never expected that much fraud to be found from with all this, but I'm glad it happened. The business tax fraud of Slumlord's effective self-entitled aunt and self-entitled uncle as well, since they were business partners. Self-entitled uncle then came under investigation by the USPS board as he was the postmaster of Winter Garden. Self-entitled uncle lost his comfy job and pension after it was discovered how he was assisting Slumlord in the tax fraud scam and for stealing money orders. All four were convicted of multiple white-collar crimes, had to sell their properties and most of their stuff, serve some form of time, and pay huge amounts of fines and restitution. Slumlord, his wife, hubby's self-entitled aunt, and hubby's self-entitled uncle, along with their sons, all went down for multiple crimes, both felonies and misdemeanors, all because they thought they could strong-arm evict us. Just proves how smart we tenants can really be when pushed. Also proves why everyone should know all rental laws and how to research public records, because it can save you in the end. Okay, this is intense. I'm really stuck on the brown recluse spider part, even though I know that's not exactly the main concern here, but I would burn the whole house down if there was a nest of any spiders living in there, especially ones that can kill you. Yeah, that's not cool. I've definitely had a terrible landlord, but it was very mild compared to this. However, your stories make me wish that I would have done some research and really just tried to get back at her, because she was awful. And we ended up having to get evicted because of they said renovations on our house and whatever it may be. I don't know exactly what they did, but then they charged us a cleaning fee and all of these things that I'm like, if you're renovating our house, why are you charging us a cleaning fee? Like, aren't you gonna tear up the house? Ugh. I wish that this kind of revenge would have been bestowed upon my ex-landlord. I thought about sending one of those glitter bombs to her. You know, that's still an option that you have. You could send one of those things, they open up and glitter goes everywhere. Like, they'll never forget that. But you got the best revenge, because it sounds like they're gonna be in a small little box with some bars on it for a while, and they deserve that. That's all for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you like what we do, please like and subscribe. And if you're on YouTube, hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. You can also listen to us on wherever podcasts are streamed. See you next time. Bye.